Hi, everyone. Robin here today with the Holistic Wellness Connection. And my guest today is Rio del Guerrera. And she,
Guerrera del Rio.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
just Rio.
knew you would correct me. You have to correct me, Virgo. Um, and today we're here to talk about combo. As you can tell, we know each other a long time and we know very well. So Rio does combo. So she's here to share some of that experience with us and what she had to go through for her certification, for her training, and her personal experience, healing experience with the combo. So I'm going to hand it over to you.
Hello.
What is combo for people who
Combo is it's an ancient Amazonian medicine that let me tell you the history of it. So about at least 3,000 years ago, there was a shaman in the jungle whose village was very, very ill. And everything that he was trying to do, people were still very sick or they were passing, they were dying. And he decided to go into the jungle. They think that he used Mother Ayahuasca to connect with the jungle. And the jungle spirits came to him and showed him a specific tree with the combo, the frog that the combo comes from, the Philomandusa, bicolored frog, that's also called a giant monkey frog, was in, and they told him how to process it from the frog without hurting the frog, to be very gentle, to talk to the frog, talk to the ancestors so that the frog would cooperate and become one with the frog. He then was taught how to process the medicine, how to bring it back to his village, and the treatment on how to facilitate it. He was able to do that. He did it for himself first, and he came back to his village and started the facilitation of the combo for his villagers, and they got better. Naturally, he saved his village.
So basically, you have to excuse me, my back's hurting, so I'm going to be shifting around a little here. My my knee up. Um, so basically, it was kind of you got kind of like a download from spirit,
Exactly,
spiritual
exactly.
download.
Yeah, he was a shaman in the Amazon, and he was able to connect with the forest spirit and ask them to please lead him. And Mother Ayahuasca was the catalyst to that. And he was shown the specific way of doing it. And the thing is that with the combo, when you have to talk to the frog, you hear the call of the frog, you have to learn the call of the frog, you give the call of the frog back to the frog, and then the frog lets you work with it. It comes down off the tree. Um, there's 8 different frogs that look very similar, but this one's bicolored, and it's the only one that carries the combo medicine on it. They scrape it off the back. It's also the frog's protection against predators in the jungle. So that way, that's the reason why when you do take the combo from the frog, they'll mark the tree, put the frog back in the tree, and they have to leave it alone for 2 or 3 weeks so it can develop more medicine for it to protect itself and not harm the frog. So it's a process, it's a ritual, it's a ceremony that they do to make sure that the frog is taken care of in gratitude and appreciation for what the frog in turn is doing for the villagers of now for humanity. Because in 1986, there was a journalist, Peter Gordon, who went into the jungle. He was studying the jungle, studying the people of the jungle. And he went into this one village, and I apologize, I don't remember the name, but he was kind of bored. He's like looking around, like, all right, what are we going to do now? He saw something hanging from one of the rafters of the hut that he was in. He's like, what's that? And the shaman's like, oh, let me show you. So he brought down the combo. And with the combo, when you administer it to the body, what you do is you do a small burn. You put in, it's called a gate. And you can see I have some gates here. I don't know if with the lighting you can see them, the little marks right here. Okay. They'll open a gate, and the medicine is applied to the gate, and it goes into the lymph system. And what it does is it clears the lymph system. And the best practice with the combo is to do it 3 days, the 3 day session. The first day is usually physical. The body doesn't know what to expect. So some people kind of, the way that the body, you'll feel heat come in first. It's called the red face. You'll feel the heat come in first. Um, the blood starts to circulate more around the body, so the heart starts to pump a little bit faster. You feel heat, like you can literally feel it, like coming in, depending on what side you're having. You can literally feel the heat coming into the body, and then the work of the combo, you'll get a little bit of nausea. Some people, it depends. Like I don't feel a lot of the effects. For me, I did in the beginning, and I was, they were. It can be very, very intense. But if you're able to open yourself up and ask the combo to work with you, and you work with the combo, you can release some of the tension and some of the intensity of it. The combo, like I said, the first day is more physical. It helps to take toxins out of the body, heavy metals. It can take a lot of different things. It's used for a lot of different things. There's actually been studies when he brought it back to the United States in '86. There was also, I think he was a professor in Italy who started studying it. They tried copying the peptides and they can't. The peptides in the beginning, they were thought to be 122. Now they found that there's close to 200, if not more. And they're doing studies right now with 70 of them trying to replicate them, and it's impossible for them to replicate it. As a matter of fact, the frog,
Don't know when they're going to learn we can't
yeah,
replicate nature.
yeah. And the thing is with the combo with the frog, um, they've actually tried in the Amazon in captivity to have it produce the combo. It will not produce it because it's not eating, what it normally eats. It has, it'll eat wasps, fire ants, other deadly insects and stuff for it to produce the combo in the way that it actually helps, the way that it connects
So
with the body.
it's able to eat things that other animals aren't able to eat.
In some cases, yeah, there might be some other animals that can, but he has a specific diet. They tried to, like I said, in captivity in the Amazon, have it in captivity, and it's still the diet was not correct. It did not produce the combo that it produces in the wild. So that's why they have to go out into the jungle and do the ceremony and work. Like they say, they'll ask the frog to work with them. And
Well, we wouldn't be happy if they put us in a fish tank with a
yeah, anything, even when they
stream
have
of
them,
stuff, like
yeah, and
animals
that's it.
in their natural environment, especially something like that,
Yeah,
because it's not, I don't think it's just like what you feed them and everything. It's just about the environment itself. Think
yeah,
about think about how clean it is. They're part of the ecosystem.
yeah.
So you're really messing with the entire ecosystem when you move things like that. I don't like when they do that.
And
So
it doesn't work.
what was your first experience like? Because you've probably built up a certain tolerance. I don't want to say
You do.
tolerance,
You
but your
start to
body's probably integrated a lot of it now.
a
So
lot of it, but it all depends on what's going on as well. Like I've had some retreats that I've done where the effects are very, very mild, and I've had other ones exactly the same retreat the next day with the exact same amount of gates, the exact same medicine coming off the exact same tablet, and it's intense. It all depends on what I'm trying to release, and that's it. You'll when you start the ceremony, you'll ask the practitioner, the the person that you're working with, what their intention is for the combo to do for them, and you connect with the combo, and they'll say, I want to release old trauma and drama, and always with ease and grace, because you always want to have that ease and grace and that love for your body, so it's not that intense. And then the combo knows exactly what to do. You can apply the combo down on the ankle and it's going to work anywhere. It's going to come up to, if it needs the neck or whatever. It does not matter where you apply the combo. It's going to find what it needs to find. And a lot of times we don't even know what's bothering us. Like I said from the very beginning, when I did the EES, I said the same thing. I don't believe that what my diagnosis was the most intense thing. I think that it brought to light that I needed help in something, because I think that it's been working with a lot of other things, and the cancer being um like what most people would think the scariest one. For me, it's not. For me, it was the biggest awakener. It was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I'm wasting my time. I have a lot of work to do. So it's working with that. It's been able to maintain everything. Now it's been what? I had the first CT scan done September of 2023. So it's been nearly 2 years, and it hasn't developed out. And I'm not saying that this would work for everybody, because it doesn't. It's just like medicine or perfume or even cilantro. Look, you can't stand cilantro. I absolutely love it.
I know.
Yeah. And
But I
so
will, but I will eat it because it's a good heavy
it's,
metal detox.
yeah, it's very good for you, but that's what I'm saying. Everybody's
I
so
gotta
different.
hide it with something like a
Yeah.
lot of blueberries or something.
But the effect on everyone is very, even on the same person is completely different from one ceremony to the next. You really don't know.
Are there any side effects that seem to have like a common theme with a lot of people?
Side effects as
Like you said about the heat and some people have nausea. Is there any correlation between, say, like people who have like mental trauma and nausea or mental trauma
no,
or so there's no
no.
correlation. It's
It's very, very different.
how their body processes it and
Exactly.
how willing they are to surrender to it.
And that's the biggest thing. It's very hard to sort of, because so many of us have so much programming and so many patterns that we've grown up with, that lovingly our parents did what they did as they knew the best, but the programming and the patterns have a lot to do with it. And a lot of people are like, well, this is unknown. What's it going to do? Is it going to kill me? No, it's not. But it's your conception. Like the first time that I did it, I had heard about it when I went to Soul Quest with Laura. They explained a little bit about Gombo. I really didn't know very much. I didn't look anything up before I went to my first retreat because I didn't want to have somebody else's conception of what I was going to feel.
Right.
So it's very, very different for everyone, but it's releasing. And for me, the hardest part, being a Virgo and Leo and having been a single mom, the control, I always had to control everything. Everything had to be this way, and it had to be that way just to make sure that everything went smoothly. So releasing that control and letting myself go, it was like, yeah, okay, you know.
Wait a minute. You have some Libra somewhere in you.
Yeah, Libra's my ascending.
That's your ascendant.
Mm-hmm.
What's your moon? I forget.
I think I honestly don't remember what my moon is.
Yeah, I don't either. But
Yeah,
yeah, that those
but
Libra one's balance,
yeah,
and you're on that Leo Virgo cusp, and Leo can be very fixed, and Virgo wants everything to be perfect.
yeah. So yeah, I'm like, ugh. But it was the first
So
day.
that's a combination. That's a combo right there.
Yeah. And the very first day, I didn't know what to expect. I think I purged just a little tiny bit, but I was very resistant, very, very resistant. The second day, as a matter of fact, I remember I could feel it in my hands, like my hands started feeling like they were swelling up. And Naga turned and she goes, release the control. And I went like this. I said, that's it. I released the control. And all of a sudden I started getting of what I needed. I started to purge, and then the purging can be very different. It can be vomiting. It can be passing gas. It can be burping, yawning, crying, laughing. Um, it's just everybody's different. You really can't say that you're going to expect this because when you say you're going to expect this, something completely different happens.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's been absolutely amazing, and I just want to show you a little bit. So the medicine, when it's taken from the frog, they take the frog and they put like little soft thread strong enough to hold it. It's four extremities, and then they're pinned. They have to have everything ready because when they catch the frog, they have about 20 minutes to get the combo off of the frog before it dries up because it's stressed out. So they'll take it and they'll put it on a bamboo tablet or dragon wood. They'll use dragon wood as well, and then it's dried onto the tablet. You can see this is the actual medicine here. It's dried onto the tablet, and then it's brought up to the States or wherever it's sent to. And then what the facilitator does is once the intention is given by the participant, you'll take that in, you'll connect with the combo, and you'll drink water, you'll swish the water around your mouth, you'll swallow the water, and then you have your essence. It's not spit or anything. You actually feel like the water because you're connecting with the combo. The water start coming into your mouth, and you put your essence onto the tablet that doesn't have any medicine on it, and you'll start scraping with a small knife or whatever you have into the combo to wet it, and it starts getting like a little. It starts getting white. It turns white, and you have to make sure that you keep it moisture. There's a lot of moisture on it, so you want to keep doing your essence. And in the United States, they'll ask you if you want the essence of the facilitator or if you want water. It's the only country that does that. Everywhere else, they'll ask for the traditional way. But here, a lot of people, they don't know if they want the essence of the facilitator. They may not have that connection with the facilitator yet, but they say that when you have your essence go on with the combo, it actually the enzymes that we have, and because we've been using the combo and the combo is within us and we're connected to the combo, that it can work with the combo a little bit. It can work with the combo more, so it can be more beneficial for the participant. but that's up to the participant. If they want the water, you always have your water ready. If you want to spray it with water, moisturize it with water, you can use the water, or you do the traditional way. But you always ask your participant if they want tradition or if they want the water to make them comfortable, making sure that they're getting the best effect and the best care. And the thing that's wonderful about the way that I was trained is you can learn to be a combo facilitator anywhere. You can sometimes the courses are 3 days, sometimes they might be a week. But working with Naga is completely different because it's just not learning how to facilitate the combo. It's you're completely, she takes you to every space within yourself to grab out all the old patterns and all the old programming so that you can see it from a different perspective to let it to release it so that you can move into who you really are. And it is intense. It's literally generally when you do the training, it's 4 to 6 weeks that you're there in her home with her day in and day out. And it's like which we call the Karate Kid, Mr. What was his name? Margiargi. I don't remember the
Uh,
Japanese, the
my,
wife on, wife off.
yeah,
You yeah,
I
you have
can't
your
remember
training.
his name.
You're doing everything the way that you
Ariano or something.
yeah. But it's the training is to teach you how to be the best facilitator, integrating with your participant before, during, and after to make sure that they have the best experience, that they're getting the best out of everything. It's very intense because it's breaking you down and it takes you to the darkest places within yourself to pull everything out so you can see it for the beauty in it and release it.
So does this work, or I'm not going to say does it work the same as ayahuasca, but I'm going to say,
No.
could you possibly have the same kind of healing release type of effect?
The only thing is that it's not hallucinogenic. There's no hallucinogenic properties to it whatsoever. It's more of a physical going into the body. The first day is physical. The second day is more emotional. That's why the 3 days are so important back to back. It's more emotional. You're releasing old emotions, old trauma. A lot of things will come up. Like for me, it was amazing. I can't even remember how many retreats I'd done. It was in October, so I'd probably done at least 10 retreats where my mom came up again. And I thought I had released all of that. But there was still that little bit of guilt, or maybe I didn't do enough. And I started crying. She's like, "What is it?" And I told her, she goes, "Let it go. What does it matter now? What does it matter?" And it doesn't. Why worry about something that's already passed? Why are you beating yourself up when you already know that you did the best that you could? Why are you bringing this up again? Why is it still there? And it was beautiful the way she does. She's very gentle, but she's also very thorough and stern. The way that she presents everything, she literally makes you see something that you looked at this way and make you go, "Oh, wait a minute, what about looking at it from this way? Oh, wait, let's look at it from this way." Different perspectives on things. And I think the best example of that was during Christmas. I was doing really good, but during Christmas, I had my grandchildren and I went to visit some of my children, and it was, typical holiday. And it was like, I started beating myself up. What did I do wrong? How come this? How come that? And I started going backwards, going back into, "Oh, poor me. How come I'm treated this way?" Going into the victim, going back into my ego. And when I got to her house, I didn't realize it, but I was walking hunched over, and this had gotten a lot bigger. And she's like, "What happened?" And I told her about the holidays. She decided to do combo for me the next day. And she looked at me, she goes, "I don't think that goiter is about what other people are thinking, saying to you or about you." She goes, "It's what you're saying to yourself within." And I was like, she goes, "Look at it from a different perspective. What have you been saying to yourself for these last few weeks? What have you been doing to yourself these last few weeks?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
I agree with that because if you remember when I read your astrology chart, I remember saying to you, your kids are grown. You are their mother, but you don't need to continue being their mommy because they're
Yeah.
adults in the same way. And what are you doing for you? And
But it
you,
wasn't that. It wasn't,
but you, it was speaking your truth.
yeah. And it wasn't that I was being mommy. It was more like I was an outsider looking in, like, "Okay, what happened? Why is everybody like here?" And I'm sitting here look. So it was,
You grow up.
huh?
They grow up. When they grow up, they don't like us.
Well, I get along with all of them. It was just Christmas was really bizarre, but then I also didn't realize what was going on in their lives, and I didn't ask. And
It-
instead of realizing that they were going through stuff, I took it in internally, like, oh my gosh, it's all no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was me talking to me about it, and that's what made the difference. And when I started realizing, that's what I'm saying. When she gets down to the nitty gritty, just to put it point blank, and it can be extremely intense. But the beauty at the other end of it, if you're willing to do the work and you're willing to open up and you're willing to discuss things that you may not have discussed before, or you didn't even know that were going on that she brings up, it's absolutely amazing. Just the difference, the shift is amazing.
But
You
don't
know,
you think I always feel like the best healers are the ones that, and sometimes this is hard for sensitive people, but the best healers are the ones that are just straight up front, blunt with you, blunt and honest,
absolutely,
not in a mean way, but they are coming from a neutral perspective. So they have
absolutely,
the ability to see things that we can't see. And
yeah,
we both do our own kind of healing energy work. And you know my saying, you can candy coat shit, but it's still shit,
yes, for sure,
right? So sometimes we all need somebody to
yeah,
give us a little push,
and
or
it was,
oh what for?
yeah, and it was a little difficult because like I told you, and I'm not going to explain. When I first met Naga, she is absolutely amazing. And I adopted her as my daughter. She's from Spain. She grew up in Portugal, but she's from Spain, and her mom's overseas. And the relationship with her mom is non-existent. And I absolutely love her. And I was like, "You're my daughter," so I adopted her as my daughter. So when we're going through the training, she's so funny. She's like, "But I feel bad when you do this, and I really want you to do it this way, and I don't know how to say." I said, "Stop." I said, "I'm not here for you to change the way that you train because we have this relationship of mother daughter. So that's not what I want. I want to be trained just like everybody else, so I have the outcome that everybody else has." I said, "Naga, if I thought that this was going to change our relationship in any shape or form, I never would have said yes to doing this training." And she just looked at me. She was okay, but she was afraid that it was going to upset me. I'm like, "No, this is what I need. I need to have someone say you need to do it this way. And it has to be because even I remember with another student that she had, she even turned around. She said, she's a mother of five. She took care of a household. She cleaned the house. She goes, but that's not the way I want it done. I want it done this way. So she's being reprogrammed from doing it the way that she's used to doing it to the way that it needs to be done for being a facilitator for combo." And I was okay with that. And he was like, so it's being able to take that in. And I even told her, I said, a few years back, maybe about 10 years ago or more, I would not have been able to do that. I would have taken that criticism to heart and been like, where now I'm like, bring it. I need to learn. Go ahead. Tell me about myself that I'm not registering, that's not coming out of my own. And it's been
I,
it's been
I want
amazing.
to know, can you sleep if there's a dish in your sink?
Shut up.
Because neither one of us can go
Yeah.
to bed if there's a dish in our
Oh,
that
yeah.
OCD.
Oh, and I've gotten a little bit better. And now having the grandchildren here, I'm trying to, like, I think there's a bowl. Yeah, there is still a bowl in there. We made cookies last night. Carly and I made cookies last night. And after everyone's done, whatever you messed up, you clean up. And her bowl sat in there overnight. And I was like, I'm not going to say anything. She's already in bed. I'm not. But normally, I would have been like, get up and clean this bowl. But I'm trying to, because that's control. That's programming. That's why. Why is it so important? I like to have my house clean. And my house is orderly. My house is definitely not as orderly as it normally is. But
Oh, you
it's
just brought
releasing.
two young children into your home that don't normally live there, so that's a big difference. And
Yeah. But they've been really good. Levi was so funny because I showed him how to make his bed. And this past weekend we fixed it up a little bit more and made it more homey for him. And when he got up this morning, he was getting ready for school. I went in there because I had the back door. I had opened up the back door for it to freshen up a little bit in here because it was cool in the morning. He'd made his bed so nice, and he's 9. He had folded it down. He had put his pillows up on by the head, and he had folded his other little blanket and put it at the end of the bed. And I was like, wow, it was so good. And I go into Carly's room. In Carly's room, she has it so nice and orderly. She has all of her perfumes and sprays and everything. All just beautiful. They're but it's me. I've caught myself a couple of times. It's like, all right, well, you didn't do this, and you didn't. I'm like, shush. Stop the control, because do
Yeah,
everything
it's
with
kind of like
compassion and love.
acknowledge the positive things that happened that day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's
So, how do people find you or find a facilitator? Because you're in Florida,
mhm.
you're in the Fort Myers area. Um, how do they find you?
For me right now, I really haven't started doing facilitating outside of doing the retreats, basically because the children are here. So for anyone that is interested in doing the retreats, I would suggest that they contact Naga, and they
Okay.
can go to her Facebook, and it's Naga Natasha. Um, I don't know
I
if it's
think you,
Novateva.
I think you
Pardon?
sent me her information.
Yeah,
I can
you
link
can link it.
in the
Yeah,
description
yeah.
under
And
the
what
video.
she does is the person contacts her. She'll have an integration conversation with them. They'll call her. She can talk to them anywhere from an hour to up. I've heard of her having conversations that are 7 or 8 hours long. And she sees that the person's ready for the combo. And usually the combo will call you. It's not something that you're going to do. Oh, I heard about combo. I'm going to go do it. The medicine starts to call you like for me, I've been, this, I'd been wanting to do Amazonian medicine since I was 20 and thought that I had to go to the Amazon to do it. It was the Amazon. I got to go to and that was part of the control. That was part of the program. I got to go to the Amazon. It's only going to be done right in the Amazon, blah, 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 blah. Being Colombian and having heritage from the Amazon. And I finally opened up and said, well, there's people here that do it. Why that control? Why does it have to be there? And once I released that control, and they say too, I've been wanting to study with a shaman since I was 20. And they say, stop looking for the shaman, stop looking for the medicine. It'll find you when you're ready. And when you're ready, it will show up like this. People that are listening to this, if this is something that's been calling them or they're interested in it, this is the time. But go to her. The retreats are really amazing with at Noatera, at excuse me, at her at her retreat center. We also have another retreat center up in Ocala. They're amazing because I've heard from many people. We've had a lot of people that have had experiences with other facilitators that almost would not go back. Well, they wouldn't go back to that, but they wouldn't do it again because of the experience they had. The experience when you come to a retreat with us, you can have a private where it's just you if you're not comfortable in a group setting or if you just want to have that space for yourself. And then when you have the retreat, the thing that's so different is a lot of these other facilitators will um, facilitate the medicine for you and then move to the next person. And it's like that. It's not like that there. You are it. The attention is solely on you. You're going through your process. People that are there in the retreat are holding space for your process. And your process can take anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour. It depends on what you specifically need. There's no rushing. There's no look at the time. None of that. We know when we start, we never know when we're going to finish. And that's something that everybody's told when they come in. And not the way that Naga does it and the way she trains all of her students is that you have the compassion and you make the time for that person. It's all about that person and what their process is, what they're going through, which makes it very, very different from other facilitators. So
So,
it's a
does the
one.
average 3-day retreat include?
It includes. It depends if you want to stay, if you're coming in from out of town, because she has people that have come in from Montana, from up north, from New York, from northern Florida. She has a guest room that holds 4 people, and generally one of the other facilitators, one of her other students, apprentice, Gary, is there. So there's usually 3 beds that are available for other people that are coming in from out of town. You can stay with her. It's the 3 days. So we start Friday at 11 o'clock in the morning. So if you're coming in from out of town, it's usually best to come in Thursday evening or Thursday afternoon. So you have the day to just acclimate to the environment. The environment is absolutely beautiful. Get yourself calmed down and ready for everything. And then Friday morning we start. We facilitate Friday. We also I run the kitchen when I'm there. So if you are interested, instead of going out and buying food, and it's all vegan and vegetarian. If you're interested, we make a very healthy meal at the end of the day for everyone to share. That is a little bit extra. It's like $11 extra per day. To stay with her, it's $33 a day, which is unheard of. You have a place to stay, you have a comfortable surrounding you with this group, so you're not going outside into the other environment. You're staying within this beautiful container. Um, you have a shower, you have a place to relax after your combo if you want to relax. Some people get very energized, some people want to rest. And so you're there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then once Sunday's over and done with, it's usually the evening. Most people usually leave Monday morning because they want to just relax and enjoy it. The last few retreats that we had have been really cool because we've had like either Saturday night, sometimes Sunday. We'll take a break for everything and we'll have a movie night. And she'll bring down the TV from one of her children's rooms upstairs, put it in the living room. We'll order pizza. Last time I think it was pho. We got pho, and everybody sits around and watches a movie and just interact. Really, once you get to bond with these people, so when you're holding space with them, you know a little bit about this other person, and you fall in love with their energy because it's the energy there is absolutely amazing. We have anywhere from, it can be a smaller group as maybe 3 or 4. It can be a bigger group as 9 or 10 people that are being facilitated each day. But when it's a group like that, we usually have 2 facilitators. So there'll be someone will start with their process, and then with like into the 25 minute where we know that they're now the more intense part of it. It's usually the intense part. The first 5 or 10 minutes are very, very intense for some. And then you start going into what they call the white phase, where you start getting the chills now. Your body's like wanting to relax, or you might start shaking. It depends on what you're releasing. And as soon as that process starts to come down and you start getting out of that curve, then we'll start with the next participant that's sitting next to you. So that they have, it's not 2 at the same time, but it's not like 1 and then an hour goes by and then the next one. So that we're able to manage that flow of time, that everyone can be taken care of and everybody's given the same amount of care and time.
Well, someone who's on medication, what do they recommend?
It depends. If it's SRAs, the medication usually, well, all the medication, supplements or anything, you try, unless like if the person's diabetic, then that'll be one of the people that'll be considered to take the combo first thing in the morning. They'll be one of the first ones to go because they have take that insulin or whatever. You don't want to take the medicine before, because if you do purge, all your medicine's going to come up.
Right.
So you'll wait until after your combo, and then you can take your medicine, your supplements, whatever it is that you're normally used to taking.
So what about like somebody like me who takes blood pressure medicine to keep my blood pressure up? Although I have a feeling that would raise my blood pressure
It
anyway.
Yeah, it raises it a little bit. It's not going to be a lot, but it's, again, you can talk to the facilitator and see if it's something that you have to take. And then if you do take it, you wait a certain amount of time before you get the combo. So it's not going to be purged out if you purge, because a lot of people don't. Some do, some don't.
Yeah.
So that would be something that you would talk to the facilitator. And that's why the integration talk is so important, to get to know something about the person that you're facilitating with, so that you have a full spectrum of their medical needs, their emotional needs, their physical needs. You don't want to just say, all right, come on over here, let me put this on you, and then let it be. You can't do that. You want to be able to have a true knowing of where that person is at that point, and you want to meet them at that place. You don't want to sit up here and go, oh, well, look, you got to come. No, you come down to where they are so that there is that connection, because it's really important to have that connection with them. Because when they all go into the process, some people will get stuck. Some people may have a trauma response, like something may come up from their childhood, or something may come up, from a relationship or something, and you want to be able for them to allow you to assist. There's traditional rattles that are used. Sometimes the person's in, I've had it done on me. I got stuck and not gonna use the tobacco. She blew tobacco in my face. She blew tobacco around me. She played the rattles, the bells. There's a lot of, she knows, you as a facilitator, you know what that person needs in that moment. It might be like somebody wants to purge and it gets stuck. So you'll put energy up their back. And it's amazing when you see that, when you do that, as soon as you touch their lower back and you start going up the back, they just are able to release. So it's something that subconsciously they're holding onto and they can't release. And that's what you're facilitating. You're facilitating the ability for them to have the smoothest, most beneficial experience that they can have.
Well, and anything that's on a subconscious level, your conscious awareness has no idea what it is.
Exactly.
You're stuck, but you don't know why you're stuck, and you think, why am I stuck? What's holding me back? What's it
Yeah.
like, and it could be even like, say, a hidden fear. right? Or maybe a lack of confidence or things like how many times have we thought that we've healed something only to find that it rears up like
What did I just say? What
right,
happened with me with my mom? You know, it was all the way in
right,
October, and I had been doing ceremonies since April. And I thought, oh, I'm good. I'm okay. And then I went through the dark night of the soul last, what was it, the end of July, August, and September for like 2.5 months. I was like, oh my God, what am I still doing here? What is my purpose? I was angry and I was upset and I was just going through everything. And I started going back and I'm like, okay, so that's why that happened. And it had to happen that way. And I started, getting everything together and putting all those little puzzle pieces together and realizing that's why everything happened the way that it happened for me to get to where I am right now so that I can start growing and expanding. This is about expansion. This is about, accelerating yourself and being who you really are, being your authentic self, taking these freaking masks off because we have so many of them. Archetypes, those are masks. And now you're literally taking them all off to be your authentic self and going, holy crap. And that's what I've done. I'm like, this is pretty cool. This is who I really am. I was this and I did that and I experienced that. But thank you so much for all of that because this is who I really am. And it's been absolutely amazing to be able to get to that point. And I'm still growing, I'm still learning. And this, what I'm going through right now, is definitely another teacher. The children are my students as well as my teachers. I'm learning from them. I'm learning, like I've sat down and I'm going, all right, so why was that reaction from them or from myself? And I'm able to sit back and go, oh, okay, well, all right, so let's shift it a little bit and let's handle it this way. And it's made such a difference. So it's just been absolutely amazing to go from what the hell to, oh, I understand now. I get it. Let's look
ways
at it
go.
this way.
My thing is, oh, that's interesting.
Exactly. That's what I keep saying now. Interesting. I
Yeah.
don't get mad at anything. I
I when
start
I
laughing
do
now. I'm like, interesting. Yeah.
yeah, when I
Yeah.
do that's interesting.
Yep.
That then the wheels are turning,
Mm-hmm.
And actually when the wheels turn, it's kind of like if you're looking at the stars through a telescope, right? As the night goes on and the earth turns, the stars are in a different position. So we have to keep turning the telescope, right?
Yeah.
So we want to follow the same star. We have to keep turning the telescope. So we're still seeing the same star, but every time we turn that telescope, we're seeing it from a different perspective in the sky.
Yeah.
And it's no different
That, and
in
it's
here.
also picking up pieces like not that we discarded them, but maybe that we set aside because they were there. It was a part of our lives that really hurt. Like for me, it was the inner child. Like I've always had that inner child. I'm just a big kid, but a lot of times I hold it back. I'm like, well, why am I doing that? Especially now. I actually did that this morning. I do rapé every morning when I get up. Well, I do it several times a day. And the rapé is an Amazonian shamanic snuff. And it's not that you snort it. You actually have to use, this is the applicator for you to self-applicate, a little jaguar. So one goes into your nose and the other one goes into the mouth and you blow. And then the other one is for someone that you facilitate to. This will go in their nose and then you blow from this end. But what that does, they have different. Let me see if I can show you. And if you can see the other different ones that are in there,
Mhm.
those are all different droplets. Some of them are grounding, some of them are healing, some of them are for meditation, some of them are for clearing. It just depends on, you'll know. Like I'll look in there and I'm like, all right, what do I need right now? Oh, let me do this one. And it'll like, I'll do that if I start getting a little heated with one of the children. I'll come here and I'm like, I don't want it to go this way. So just let me center myself, reground myself, and then open up to a different perspective of it and be able to handle it in a completely different way. So it's just using these tools. That's what it is. It's just all these tools that we're gathering that we've known before. And that's one of the things that was really cool is when I did my graduation retreat, I actually started from beginning to end. I did the marking, I did the opening of the gate, I applied the medicine, I went through the entire process with the participant. And afterwards, a comment was made by one of the other facilitators, student, said, do you know how many months it took me to do what you did today? Because this is second nature to you. You've done this before. And I know I have. I'm just remembering what I've done before and
Ever
just bringing
since
it
I've known
forward.
you, it's all you've ever talked about was plant medicine.
Yeah.
Or
And I love it.
some kind of plant medicine or some kind of Amazonian type jungle. I
Yeah.
mean, you said to me, that you were going to the Amazon no matter what.
Yeah. And I remember saying I wanted to live there 6 months and be here 6 months. But that was generally what my goal was. And I'm like, I'd rather bring it here. And I can go there. I was actually doing that this morning when I was doing my meditation. I'm like, I can go there whenever I want to. Close my eyes and go there. I'm limiting myself. This is my limitation. Am I able to get out of this? We call it cascara. The cascara is uh, like the skin or the shell of whatever's within. Am I able to open up that shell and just go? Or am I holding myself back? I refuse to hold myself back anymore. It's not, I want to be.
Like it's kind of like if what you just said with opening the shell. So it's kind of like if you were to open the oyster and you find the pearl,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's
And
absolutely
it's,
beautiful.
and it's been amazing. And it
Very
was so
happy.
funny.
I'm very
Pardon?
happy for you, but I have missed you over this last year.
Wow, I've been running so much, but Robert, it was something finally that I did for me. This was all about
I
me.
and you want to know what? I want to say this to you. I'm so proud of you
I'm proud of me too. Thank you. And
because you never put yourself first. No matter what, and your kids are all grown, and you still put everybody before yourself. And I'm so happy that you finally put yourself first.
yeah, yeah, it was pretty. It was hard in the beginning, to say the truth, because I still had in the back of my head, oh well, this is my position, this is my archetype. No, that was my perception of somebody else's perception of who I was supposed to be. And I was being that because I wanted that perception of, oh well, this is what people see me as. No, I'm very grateful I was able to let that go and be to where I am right now. Just this journey this past year, and it was so funny. I remember I told you the story when I first met Naga was at Porangui. I went to see Porangui um, a year ago, November, and then I actually wrote in the comments, "You need to come to Florida." I'm like, "He's got to come to Florida. He's got him and Ashley. He's a world soul tribe music artist, and his partner. She narrates a lot. And when I met them in November, I said, you got to come to Florida. And then I saw in January that they were going to be here at the end of March. And I went to the concert. And at the very, very last show, he played Friday night. At the very last show, I can't remember who was playing. I think it was Mog or Equanimous. I don't remember. But I seen someone at the stage. And when she turned, I saw this glow and I saw it like this. I felt this crone wisdom. And when she came towards me, I asked if I could give her a hug. And I said, "You are absolutely stunningly beautiful." I said, "This is what the modern crone is supposed to look like." We didn't talk a whole much that night. The following day, we were having closing ceremonies, and I was up on this little hill. I'm sitting on a bench, and she came up and she was talking to me, and we just started talking. And I told her, I said, I saw the crone wisdom. I said, I didn't mean to insult you because she's a lot younger than I am. I said, but you have that energy of wisdom of the crone. And she's like, no, no, it's good. She's absolutely beautiful. And she goes, oh, you got to come to Ocala. It's nearby. We're going to go up there. There's 22 acres of land up there. We're going to do a bonfire, and we're just going to sit around, maybe do a drum circle. You got to come. Well, one of the girls that I was with wanted to come back home because it was Easter Sunday. And I'm like, I got to go home. I got to take her back home. I'm going to be pleasant and just leave it at that. But every time that I wanted to get up, I heard spirit saying, you need to let her know about your health. Like, why am I going to tell her that I just met her? The third time, I do everything in threes. I love three. I heard it the third time, and I'm like, all right, I get it. And I turned around, I told her, I said, no, I said, I don't know what I'm telling you this, but this was like April 2nd of last year. And I had done the CAT scan October 31st. I hadn't gotten the diagnosis until December 8th, but I was still trying to find where I was going to find what I needed. And I remember the Thursday before I left here, the house, standing in this living room with my arms open, I said, Creator, I surrender. I give up control. You need to open the doors that I need open for my health. And when I turned around, she told me to sit next to her. She says, have you heard of Combo? I said, I've heard of it, but I really don't know much about it. She goes, well, I'm a facilitator. She goes, you're an elder and our elders need to be taken care of. She goes, you hold the wisdom that we need and that the generations coming in need. She goes, I want you to come to a retreat. She says, just bring your clothes and yourself. I'll take care of everything else. I'll take care of the medicine, but I want you to come. And I'm like, okay. So I'm in tears at this point because me with receiving, I've gotten a lot better at it. I gave her a hug. and I saw a jaguar when I closed my eyes. And the jaguar has always been a spirit animal that's always been next to me. People have seen it next to me, a big black jaguar. And I turned around and I said, "Oh, when I gave you the hug," and I closed my eyes and said, "I saw the jaguar." She goes, "That's because I am the jaguar." Meow. Just kidding around. So when she invited me to this, I'm thinking it's in Ocala, first of all. She goes, "Well, we're having integration dinner." It was like 10 days away. Come to the integration dinner and then the retreats the following that weekend. I said, okay. So I'm driving home and I get home and I'm like, all right, so why is this woman inviting me to do combo? She's never met me before. I know it's not, I know it's not highly expensive, but I know that's a big gift. Are they
Uh,
going to take me up to the
Probably
woods?
for the same reason that you take strangers
Yes.
into your home and do things for
Uh,
them.
I know, but you know the way my mind worked then, now it's changed. But I'm thinking 22 acres up in Ocala. Oh my God, are they going to do a ceremony and sacrifice me? Am I ever going to be seen again? I'm going out to the woods and nobody's going to know where I am. This is what's running through my mind. This is how
I
crazy
actually
it got.
love Ocala. When I lived in Florida, I lived near Ocala.
Yeah. But I'm saying that my mind went to this dark, dark thing
They don't
to the
want you.
point,
They'd send you back to me.
yeah, that they turned around. And it was funny because I texted the day of the integration dinner. I texted Victoria, one of my spiritual daughters, and I said, I'm going to an integration dinner. This is the address I'm going to be at. If you don't hear from me by 10:30 that night, call the cops. And I got there, and as soon as I walked to the front
No,
door,
you didn't. Did you
oh
really?
yes, I did. Yes, I did. That's
Really?
how
That's not like you.
I
You always,
know. I'm not afraid of anything.
anything. I always yell at you for being over trusting.
But that's it. That's and when I
I think
walked
that
into
came
her,
from fear.
yeah, yeah, it was the fear of my soul knew what was coming, but my ego's going, oh hell no, we're not going there. This isn't something new. We don't want to experience that, you
Well,
know.
your
But
Leo couldn't control the situation, and your
yeah,
Virgo had to have it perfect. And
yeah. But as soon as I walked through that front door, the energy of absolute peace, tranquility, and love that you feel when you walk through that front door at her house was, I can't even explain it. I was just like, oh. Then when we sat down to integration dinner, you come, it's potluck. So you get there at 6. Everybody, they introduce themselves if they're new. You start talking. You say hello to people you haven't seen for a while. You eat, and then we'll sit down 8:30 in a circle out in the backyard. Beautiful scenery, and everyone starts to share. When I sat down, I heard Spirit go, "Count how many people are here." And I told you, 23 has been following me since I turned 23 years old. It's always, it's a big number for me. And I turned around and I counted, there was 23 of us. And I was like, okay, Victoria, I'm okay. Don't worry about it. It's safe. Oh, so that was the beginning of it. And then I started going to the retreats, and it was amazing because I remember the first retreat. I'm in the kitchen. I love to cook. You know that. I love being in the kitchen. And she overheard me say something that I love to cook. So Monday, after everybody had gone, we're sitting in the kitchen, and she said,
big mistake.
no, no, she said, again, you're an elder. You need to be taken care of. She goes, I know you don't have the finances to continue to do the combo every month. She goes, but we need someone to run the kitchen. We'll do an energy exchange. You take care of the kitchen. You make sure there's food for everyone. You do the cooking. You bake the bread, whatever. And I'll take care of the medicine for you. I was like, what? And that's the way it started. So then at first I started in the kitchen. Then I adopted her as my daughter. Then in December, I started doing all the retreats in Ocala and at her house, cooking and taking care of, the core group, the core community, and anybody there that was there, just give them little stuff to eat, whatever. Then in Ocala for her birthday, I had told her before that she needed a personal assistant to let me know because I ran two different departments in Bal Shalom. So I was very good at multitasking, like you. So I told her that she needed help with computer stuff because she needs to be able to take her time and concentrate on the work that she does, being the medicine woman, being the shamanic role that she plays in this community. So
It's
in
hard doing everything
it
yourself.
is. You can't. It's too much
I keep
because
getting
you have
messages.
so much work to do. Then when it comes down to doing the medicine part of it, you're so tired or overwhelmed from what you just had to do to try to shift into that.
It could
But
take
she does it.
half a day just to do your social media, and people are like, "Are you okay? You haven't been on social media." I'm
Yeah,
like, because I'm doing other like. There's only one
yeah.
of
There's
me.
always
Sorry,
yeah.
but there's only one of me.
So she's trying. She needed someone, and she actually said, I really could use a personal assistant. I said, Naga, I already told you I would do that. She goes, no, I'm serious. I said, so am I. And she turned around and she said, "Well, how much are you gonna charge me?" I looked at her and I said, "You serious? With this is now December. So April, May, June, July. I didn't go in August, I didn't go in September, October, November, December, 8 months of my being there for a ceremony, for the combo retreats, for whatever." I was like, nothing. This is my part. This I love this community. I was now part of the core community. I was part of the elders of the just the core of the community, making decisions and stuff. Nothing. This is
But
what I want to give.
she felt your energy and she saw in you what you didn't see in yourself.
Oh, without a doubt, absolutely. And then from there, she saw, like you said, she saw that, but she also saw my heart, that I wanted to participate in any way that I could. And then in January, after the holidays, when I went to see her, and we did the combo, the day that we did the combo, she said, Spirit's been really talking to me about you doing the training. And I was like, okay. She goes, "I want you to do the training. I'm gifting you the training." I was like, "What?" It's $4,444 for the training. It's intense. And for me, it was a little bit more because I was with her a little bit more. I stayed a little bit longer, but it was something that was very beneficial for me because I got extra training. I got extra deep. I didn't have a timeline. We stopped. I was there for 3 weeks. I came home for a week. I went back for 3 or 4 weeks. I came home for a week. I went back so it was really intense, but I learned so much about myself that I thought I knew myself. I didn't know myself. I knew the outside, I knew the shell, but the really deep, deep stuff, I didn't know who I really was. I didn't know what my powers really were. I was hiding them. I think in the sense I was afraid of them, maybe because of past traumas. Like, is this going to happen again if I do this? And I was able to release all of that, and the connection that I had with Naga. We did one ceremony where I was still waiting for the other shoe to fall. That's something that I guess I've carried. Just always being there for the people and then having the other shoe fall, and it's like, and we had this one ceremony, and I told her, I said, I never felt appreciated. I always felt like I had to do certain things to be appreciated. And she's like, "Why?" She sat with me and talked with me for hours, and the other shoe fell and it went away. And it opened up these walls that I didn't even know I had up, that I had guarded, that I had never realized the walls that I had put around my heart because I was so afraid of that other shoe falling.
That's the key to it, though. It's like once your heart opens and once somebody sees that crack in your heart, they know that you have the ability to crack that open and to let that out. And I want to say this. I want to thank Naga for doing this for you. And I love that you're giving her all this credit. But I also want you to step up and own
Oh, I have. I'm so
who
proud of
you
myself
are
that,
now and who you've become because of
yeah,
all of this.
yeah.
And I think it's a beautiful gift that she gave you because I've watched you transform.
I'm very much at peace. I have energy. I mean, I've been tired lately, but with these energies, it's completely different. I've had a lot of energy that I'm like, I had one of the other core community people, Journey, actually, she pulled me to the side. She goes, "She's 67. She's like a little girl. She's got a lot of energy too. She's go, 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 go." She goes, "I don't know how the hell you keep up with Naga." Because Naga is like zoom, zoom, zoom. I can't even tell you how many things have to be done before an integration dinner and or the retreat. And it has to be done a certain way, or you're doing it again. So it was just, she goes, "I don't know how you keep up with her energy. I don't think about it. I just do it." But that's just that the energies change, the way that I see things change, the way that I do things change, the way that I talk to myself is completely changed. And I'm very grateful, but I'm also very proud of myself that I stuck with it, because I could have turned around and said, "Oh, this is too much. Bye." There's been other people that have done that
I'm
because it is extremely intense.
I'm glad that you stuck with it because honestly, this is the first thing I've actually seen you completely follow through with. And but you are gifted in a lot of areas, in all fairness. Um, and I forgot what else I was going to say. but you completely followed through with this. And I also think that one of the things, you being a Virgo aside, but part of your Virgo is you like to be of service. You are the healer. So that's always been within you. So now you've embodied that and you've accepted that.
And I think that's such a big thing because I remember from very young going, I need to be needed. I need to be able to do something that's going to make a difference in someone else's life because it makes a difference in mine. But now it's a different perspective. I feel like I'm doing something that I know I'm supposed to be doing that's making a difference, that's helping people awaken to who they really are. I make leather bags, I make jewelry. Oh, they're beautiful. People love them. But when it comes down that we even doing a massage, I was helping people feel better, but it was just making them feel better. It wasn't helping
Surface.
them.
It was the Band-Aid fix.
Yeah. But it wasn't, well, some of them it was. Some of them actually kept them away from other issues, but it wasn't to help them expand who they really are, to help them open up to who they really are. And this is what this is doing. I've seen the people that I've seen go through from the very beginning, like their very, very first combo, to continue and doing the work, because that's the thing. You can do combo, but if you don't do the work, you're going to be doing combo and you're going
Well,
to be
it's
doing
like
combo.
anything. Everybody wants a magic pill, a
Yeah,
magic cure.
yeah,
It doesn't work like that. We have to work from the inside out, and
yeah.
it starts with opening the heart. And once the heart is open, it's kind of like opening the floodgates and then let all the shite out and make
Oh,
room for all of the new things. So,
and it's not just opening the heart, it's letting go of the resistance, letting go of who you
absolutely.
think you are so that you can realize who you really are. And I've seen people, one girl in
Like you
particular,
have to completely surrender the
it,
identity that you believe
exactly.
you are,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is an illusion.
Yeah. And I've seen people like, I've seen one young woman that came in and she was so nervous when she got there. She's like, she didn't know what to expect. And she came in and Nago was getting herself ready or whatever. And I started talking to her and she's like, thank you so much. I said, for what? She goes, I was so nervous when I got here. She goes, I'm so comfortable. So that was my first little step. And I hadn't started facilitating yet. That was my first little step into integrating, into learning how to integrate to make the person comfortable, regardless of the fears they're coming in with. And then to see her do the work and see her go through her first combo retreat and then come in for the second one and to see a completely different person. Came the second day, she's like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. I slept for the first time in 2 years, blah, 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 blah. You hear all these different things. And she continued to do the work. She started doing the journaling that was good for her. She started, taking control of things that she had not to. You, when you see,
When I went to have my past life regression with Todd,
mm-hmm,
I stayed with Janet. I almost didn't do it. I remember being out. She has the enclosed pool.
mm-hmm,
I remember being out there and I went out and I must have smoked like 10 cigarettes. And she came out and she's like, are you okay? I go, I don't think I want to do this. And she goes, well, she goes, why? I go, because I don't think I'm ready to hear, because I had been having a lot of vivid dreams. And
mm-hmm,
I was like, they were kind of freaking me out a little bit. And I'm like, if this comes out in my regression and this is true, am I prepared for this next step? So I wound up doing it, but it was, let me tell you, now it was the most ridiculous. Now I sit here and I think that was the most ridiculous fear. But you know me also, I'm somebody who does not like to give up control.
yeah,
Okay, we all have that control. And I was when I met him here, he was so kind and like there was this like immediate kind of connection. And I knew that I had known him before
mm-hmm,
somewhere. And I just had that feeling of deja vu over and over and over.
yeah,
Then it came out, our connection came out in the regression. But I think my regression went on something like 4 hours and I was so exhausted. I just couldn't go on anymore. And he wanted to keep going because he was interested in what I was saying.
yeah.
And I still have that tape somewhere around. And when I listened to it, I was like, oh my God, like, but first of all, like, I've had people try to hypnotize me so many times. Like, I've had hypnotists give me my money back. Okay, because I tried to be hypnotized to quit smoking and didn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
the one thing that did work was acupuncture. I lit a cigarette up on the way home and had to pull on the side of the road and puke my guts out. Acupuncture did work.
yeah.
But like I think because I felt so comfortable with him,
Mhm.
there's only like two people that can do that with me that there has to be that level of trust. So
Yeah.
it's so important that you make people feel comfortable,
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
it's does she have brochures that like before they come they can read?
She
We need to
sends information.
yeah, need to make her some brochures that
Yeah, yeah, we were actually talking about that, like we were just talking about that yesterday or the day before, making a little like 10-page booklet of what
yeah,
combo
like
is, what
what's
it does, what the
normal, what's
peptides
not
are.
normal,
Yeah,
that people are afraid, and it's more
yeah,
about,
yeah,
surrender
because one of the things
and
that you tell people
control.
is do not look it up on Google because nothing is good on Google.
Oh no.
All the information on Google is bad. If you want to know a little bit, TikTok or Instagram, I think, or Facebook, you hear beautiful testimonies of people that have done it. Absolutely beautiful. But again, you're gonna get somebody else's
I
conception.
would do TikTok.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't really
I
heard
don't do TikTok. I don't.
how much any.
Yeah. But
And
with the combo
somebody
for me
told
to,
me they heard that TikTok was going to be shut down again. I guess
yeah,
it
whatever.
depends on the president's mood of the week.
But anyway, they had the with the combo. I did exactly the same thing. I think it was the second. I had to fight with myself to go. I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh God, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to, for the weekend? I'm like, yes, this is for me. This is the ego going, well, I don't know if I want to feel that way. That doesn't feel normal. I'm not used to
Yeah,
that.
it's the resistance.
Yeah.
The
It's
resist.
real. It's
It's
real.
the letting go of control,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's like because I know that you don't have fear to try something new because you'll do almost anything. So it's more about the resistance
yeah.
and about when you make your decision, it's your decision. So there's no
Exactly.
of loss of control because it's a decision you've made. But when someone else is making that decision and you're laying there and somebody's putting frog stuff on medicine on you, it's kind of like, and then you're kind of thinking, and I'm thinking about the frog. Now, I'm an animal lover.
Oh no, no, they're so gentle with
Oh,
the
no, I
frog.
know, but I'm thinking to myself when you were talking earlier about the way they get the medicine, I'm thinking now for the viewers, please don't take this the wrong way because this is a joke. But I'm thinking, just like a typical man, you got to build up his ego. You got to stroke him a little bit and make him happy to get what you want, right?
but
So
it's
even the animal kingdom can make us laugh sometimes. And there's always so much to be learned. There's so much we don't know
exactly.
about ourselves, about our own environment, about this planet, and about the medicine that is technically what I call the real medicine.
Exactly. Yeah.
We call it it's referred to as ancient medicine, but it's
Yeah.
the real medicine that we were taught to forget.
And the thing is with combo is anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, antibacterial, anti everything you could possibly think of. So it works on everything. And it depends. Like that's one of the most important things too, is you have to be able to release and trust the medicine. Because like anything else, oh, this medicine is going to work for you. Well, if you have it in your mind that it's not, it's not. It doesn't matter what it is. If you have
I,
it in your mind and you release, anything can do it, you know?
I always say that your mindset is a massive, massive
Absolutely. Absolutely.
contributor to your healing.
Yeah. And again, that's why the integration is so important to and getting the connection with the medicine. As a facilitator, you have to be very connected to this medicine because you're working with it, you're one with it. And then with the participant, that's one of the things when you ask them what their intention is for the medicine, you ask them to connect with the medicine. Will you hand them the water for them to drink while they're getting ready to take the medicine? You ask them to connect with the water. So that the water helps the process be easier. You're connecting with Mama Oshun, the goddess of the water. You're connecting to all these different elements that are you. You're one with every single one of these elements. So you're literally asking yourself to work with yourself. If you can understand that, if you can if you can get to that point where you realize that this frog is part of you, and this medicine coming from the frog is part of you, and you're asking you to work with you, then it makes it that much easier and it makes it that much more
Everything's
beautiful.
everything's energy.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's a beautiful blend of energies,
Yeah.
but you have to be open to receive it.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to say thank you very much for your time today. I think we've been on a little over an hour.
Okay.
And just
When we get together, we don't, time just seems to, it's an
no,
illusion.
thank you for sharing this with because I've never done combo. And maybe one day I'll do it. I don't know. It
Yeah.
depends on whenever I can get down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little out of my price range right now with some of the things that have been going on in the world.
Yeah.
So, but thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah. And
Oh,
with me, Robin,
yeah, I
we
know.
talk about that. So,
I don't take advantage, you know.
uh, excuse me, you're one of my sisters. You're my best friend.
Yeah, but I don't always like you.
I don't like you all the time either, but that doesn't mean I don't love you.
But I do always love you.
Yeah, exactly. It's been
For
what, eight
everybody out
years?
there, we're joking.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, we've been very close now for 8 years, and both of us went through a lot, and we
We
had
ever
each
had
other.
have we ever really had a real fight?
No,
I don't think so.
no.
I think we've shared words, but we've always managed to talk through.
Within the same conversation, go, but I still love you. We
Yeah,
were there when my
yeah.
mom got sick. You were there for me, and I honestly wanted to run away. You're the one that kept me sane and kept me going. And when your mom was getting sick and passed, same thing. So
Well, we had
we've been
both
through a lot
our
with each other.
mothers sick at the same time. Your mom passed um a year before
2020
my
August.
mom,
Mm-hmm.
right? So your mom will be gone 5 years.
5 years.
Mom
Yeah.
will be gone 4 years.
Yeah.
And you lost your fiance as well.
Yeah.
So you got a double whammy, which all happened around the anniversary of the loss of one of your grandchildren. So you
Yeah.
really got slammed that year. And if I,
Yeah.
when I think about that now, how old are you? How are you going to be?
63.
You going to be 63 or are you
Mm-hmm.
63?
I am 63. I'll be 64 in August.
So you were going through your Saturn return and at the time.
Yeah.
So it was,
And they all passed in August. August 2nd, Louis. August 12th, Mommy. And then Shayla had passed a couple of years before that, August 31st. So
and
it was
my
always in
mother
August.
passed on August 23rd,
Yeah. On my birthday.
on your birthday,
Yeah.
first day of Virgo, because my mom was a Virgo and well, she had to do it her way.
And it was my 60th birthday that year.
Mhm.
She passed on my 60th birthday.
And my mom loved you.
Yeah.
She absolutely loved you.
And my mother loved you. Remember, she appeared to you after she passed away in that.
And in the candle,
Yeah.
it was I still have that picture somewhere on my that's why I actually need a new phone. Like, where's my phone? This phone is so disgusting. I mean, it's so old I can't even buy a cover for it anymore. Look at the cover. But I won't get I'm still working off of an old Galaxy S10.
Oh,
But
wow.
it updates and it gives me
Yeah.
everything that I need. Like the phone itself, if I take it
Yeah.
out of the holder, the
Well,
phone
mine
itself,
isn't much
right?
better. Mine's Karina gave it to me. It's an i10. It's XP10. So it's the
I
same
don't
year.
know
We
what
both
that
have
is.
tens.
Yeah.
I don't, I'm
The
still
only
getting used to
Apple
it.
product I have is this laptop.
Yeah.
But like if you look, because it's always been in the case, it looks brand new.
Yeah. Yeah. Same
Like
thing with
there's
this
nothing
one.
wrong with it. It's just the case is, like I said. And even this case, when I bought it, wasn't exactly right. So I took a knife and cut it out myself to make it fit,
Yeah.
just to protect the phone. But because there's so many, I have like over 10,000 pictures on here, and there's pictures of my mom and when you came to visit, and I
Yeah.
don't, and they're like, oh, well, if you trade in your phone, I'm like, what do you want with a phone that's like, I don't know, this phone's at least,
Yeah. Well, if it's a 10, it's probably 15 years old almost.
yeah,
Yeah. Because they're at 25 right now.
it's at least 12 years old
Oh,
because I bought it from someone, someone that the wife bought it and she was originally an iPhone user and she thought she wanted a Samsung and she bought it and she had it literally like 6 months and she hated it and then went and bought an iPhone. So I got this phone for like, I don't know, a couple $100 and it was brand new
Yeah, yeah,
from
Kareem
that.
showed me.
It was kind of like just pay off what I owe on it kind of thing. So yeah,
All right,
I'm not trading in my old phone. That's the way it goes. Some things you just can't get rid of.
Matt. All
So
right, darling.
got sparkles. I'm going to paint some sparkles on here.
If it works, why not?
Yeah, gotta have sparkles.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a little sparkle in their life. Thank you for being a sparkle in my life.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Thank you for this beautiful interview. Thank you for your time.
Oh, you're very welcome. Anytime.
Thank you for sharing all of your wisdom and knowledge with the rest of the world.
Thank you for the opportunity to do so. I love you.
I love you too. Bye,
We'll
sweet.
talk soon. Bye, honey.
And for everyone out there, remember to like and share. And I will put the information under the video where you can reach. Well, you can find Rio on Facebook under
Yeah.
Christian Ancestors. And I will put Naga's information underneath if anybody's interested in combo or learning about combo. Um, and then you can go from there. Please do not go with anyone that you do not know,
Yeah.
that may not be reputable, that may not know what they're doing.
Well,
Please
that's just
be
a facilitator
mindful.
that puts the medicine on and you're on your own, basically. So big
Exactly.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah,
be mindful of that, and Rio can assist you with that or not.
absolutely. All
Right.
right.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
darling. Take
Love
care.
you.
Thank you. Love you too.
Namaste. Namaste
Namaste.
you, Naga. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.